Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool, and we are with the next part on metals and non-metals. So in our previous videos we have discussed about the physical properties of metals and non-metals, and in the second video we spoke about how metals reacted with oxygen. In the third video we spoke about how metals reacted with water, and now we are with one more important reaction which you have already studied in the second chapter, right? So you can see the heading here. It is the reaction of metals with acids. Okay. So can you able to tell me how our metals are going to react with acid? What type of products do you get here? Definitely salt and water, isn't it? So the same reaction we are studying once again, but you have little different concept here. Okay. So all acids do not react with all metals, where you should completely depend on the reactivity series. Yes or no? Okay, first let us try to write the general reaction. Whenever acid reacts with the metal, you will get salt and hydrogen gas. This is very important to remember. Whenever an acid reacts with a metal, you will get salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, fine. Say which metals can react with acid depends on reactivity series. Okay, so we have discussed many times about the reactivity series. If you want detailed aspect about reactivity series, you can go to the displacement reactions of the chapter 1. There I explained a trick how to remember a reactivity series. Okay, so how does our reactivity series helps us to write the product? See, remember guys, hydrogen's position is here. Whichever elements coming above hydrogen can only react with acids to give hydrogen gas. Okay, the elements placed below hydrogen will not give hydrogen gas during a reaction. Clear everyone? This is a very important concept that you have to remember. So reactivity series, and you must remember the definition of reactivity series here. It can be asked in the examination. So what is reactivity series? It is the list of metals arranged in decreasing order of their reactivities. The elements which are placed in a topmost position are more reactive. So who is the most reactive element? Potassium, after that sodium, after that calcium. Okay, remember guys, these three elements are the most reactive elements. And coming to the elements placed at the middle, especially zinc and iron, are regarded as moderately reactive elements. Okay, and the elements which are placed in the last, that is copper, silver and gold, they are the least reactive. I can say the gold and silver does not react with anything easily. Okay, fine. So this reactivity series you should definitely remember. And here what you should remember is elements which are placed above hydrogen only can react with acid to give what gas? To give hydrogen gas. Okay, fine. And now let us write a few examples here. Say I have an acid HCl. Okay, if I take a metal, say for example sodium, so what is the product you will get? You will get NaCl plus hydrogen gas. And how do you balance the equation? Balancing is very important. You should never forget balancing. Okay, so this is how. See, sodium's position is above hydrogen. Hydrogen here, sodium is there. So definitely sodium can react with our acid giving salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, so you will observe a bubbles of hydrogen coming out during a reaction, and this bubbles of hydrogen gas, whenever you keep a candle near it, it will burn with a pop sound. Next one is H2SO4 is the acid. I am changing the acid now. Okay, and I am taking a metal Mg. Can you able to write the product here? whichever acid they may give you, whichever metal they may give you, you must able to write the products here. Okay, and check it whether a reaction happens or not first, and later try to write the reaction. Okay, is our Mg coming above hydrogen? Definitely. So Mg can react with acid to give a hydrogen gas. So what do you get here? What is the salt you get? Mg and SO4 combined. So MgSO4 you will get. Magnesium valency 2, SO4 valency is also 2, so formula is correct, and H2 gas you will get. Okay, so likewise any metal can react with acids like HCl and H2SO4. There is an exception that you have to remember, guys. This is very important here. So these were the reactions you have already studied in your previous chapter. Okay, any metal can react with any acid to give H2 gas, but what metals react, you should be careful. Say if I ask you a question, HCl is there, copper is there, so do you get a reaction here? Do you get a product here? Can copper give CuCl plus H2 can be formed here? This reaction is not possible. This particular reaction is not possible. Why? Because copper is placed below hydrogen. Copper cannot react with acid, whatever may be the acid, HCl or H2SO4. This guy copper cannot react with the acid to give the product. Okay, so you have to check the reactivity series and then write the product. Okay, and this is one exception, you can pick it. Okay, so this is the first exception. Definitely you should stick on to the reactivity series. And coming to the second exception. Second exception is your nitric acid, HNO3. We will call it as nitric acid. Okay, nitric acid does not give, it will not give H2 gas. It will not give H2 gas. Okay, say for example, we have nitric acid HNO3 and I will treat it with sodium. Salt it will give, what is the salt? NaNO3 is produced, plus water plus oxides of nitrogen. Oxides of nitrogen are formed. Okay, so what this HNO3 will do is, it will oxidize, HNO3 will oxidize H2 to water. Okay, HNO3 will convert hydrogen into water. Okay, because HNO3 is the best oxidizing agent. It will help for the oxidation. Okay, so HNO3 is oxidizing agent. It is the best oxidizing agent. Okay, since it is oxidizing agent, it will convert, hydrogen gas is formed, but that hydrogen gas is getting converted into water during the reaction. Okay, so you will get the product salt plus water plus oxides of nitrogen. Okay, one more product you will get, oxides of nitrogen. So remember this is very important. So whenever a metal is reacting with HNO3, you will not get hydrogen gas. What actually happens is that hydrogen gas will get converted into water. It is because HNO3 is the best oxidizing agent. Oxidizing agent means the one which is helping for oxidation to happen. Okay, so who is undergoing oxidation here? H2. Initially H2 is formed, but that H2 is undergoing oxidation because this guy is responsible for that. Okay, since because this is there, this is the best oxidizing agent, it will entirely convert our hydrogen into water. Okay, and the byproducts you will get here, oxides of nitrogen. So this is what the exception point that you have to remember. Clear? The last reaction of metals that we are discussing here is reaction of metals with other metal salt solution. It is nothing but a displacement reaction that we have studied in chapter 1. Okay, so the same reaction we are going to discuss once again with the help of reactivity series. Okay, so we studied a famous example under displacement reaction in chapter 1. What is that? Iron when dipped in copper sulfate solution, copper sulfate was blue color solution, yes or no? So what was the product you got? Iron, the one which is more reactive, will remove the less reactive elements from its solution. You know, this is a metal salt solution, okay? From this particular solution, the metal is coming out, and its position is being occupied by one more metal who is more reactive than this. Okay, that is what we call it as displacement reaction. Okay, the guy which is more reactive will displace less reactive element from its solution. Okay, since iron is more reactive than copper, how do you know that iron is more reactive than copper? With the help of reactivity series. So iron's position is here, copper is down. The element which is placed above is always more reactive, okay, than the element placed below. Since iron is more reactive, iron will remove this guy copper and it will occupy its position. So what do you get? You will get FeSO4 plus copper separately present. Okay, so this reaction I have shown a demonstration in chapter 1, isn't it? So the same reaction we are studying once again. Okay, so the blue color of copper sulfate will be converted into light green color ferrous sulfate solution. Yes or no? So similarly, say you have to know how to write the products. Say if I ask you zinc, AgNO3 is there. Okay, so can these two guys, can you observe a reaction between these two guys? So check it whether zinc's position is above silver or not. You have to check it from the reactivity series. Okay, this series you should definitely remember, otherwise you cannot answer such questions. So zinc is here, Ag is here, so zinc is more reactive. So definitely what is the product you will get? You will get ZnNO3 plus Ag. Yes or no? But Zn valency is 2, NO3 valency is 1. So what is the formula, guys? Zn1 NO3 twice. Okay, so this will be the formula. Clear? Say one more question I'll ask you now. Say you have copper. Okay, copper plus AgNO3. Can the reaction occurs? If the reaction occurs, tell me what is the product you will get. Copper and Ag. Where is copper coming? Here. Ag is coming just below the copper. Yes or no? So copper is more reactive than Ag. Definitely reaction occurs. So what is the product you will get? CuNO3 twice plus Ag. Okay? Fine. And now if I have a reaction like Ag plus copper sulfate, can the reaction occur here? Just check the positions. Ag, where is Ag? Below. Copper is above. So this guy is less powerful. It cannot remove copper. Only the guy has to be more powerful to remove a metal from its salt solution. Okay. But here Ag is less powerful. No. It cannot remove copper. So reaction does not occur. So you will say no reaction here. Okay. So you don't have any reaction here. So this is how which reaction can occur and which reaction cannot occur can be decided with the help of reactivity series. Okay. So any reaction you must able to predict that way only. Say for example you have lead. Okay. And copper chloride is there. Can the reaction happen between lead and copper chloride? So where is lead coming? Where is copper coming in the reactivity series? Yes, lead is here. Pb means lead. Lead is here and copper is here. So definitely lead can remove copper from its solution, isn't it? So lead is more powerful than copper. So this lead can remove copper. So what is the product you will get? Lead chloride plus copper. Yes, this reaction is possible. Whereas this opposite reaction, if I have lead chloride and copper, okay. So copper plus lead chloride is there. Can the reaction possible? No, right? Copper is less powerful than lead. So that point of time, copper cannot remove lead from its salt solution. So here also you will observe no reaction happening. Okay, so you will not observe any product formation there. So this is how whatever may be the reactants they give, you must carefully think and write the product. You must know at what situation the reaction can be observed and at what situation the reaction is not possible. This is very important to remember. Okay, so with this we have completed the chemical properties of metals. All the chemical reactions the metals are showing has been completed. So in the next class we will try to discuss some aspects about non-metal reactions. Okay, and after that we will see how metals can react with non-metals. So with this I complete the concept of metals reacting with various chemical components. Thank you so much. If you like our concept, please like, share and subscribe our channel for more updates.